Since birth, you've been told that hard work and saving are the keys to success. But what if that's a carefully crafted illusion, designed to keep you financially trapped? The rules you followed weren't meant to set you free. They were meant to keep you in line. The real path to wealth is hidden, reserved for a select few who play by different rules. Today on Mr. Brainburst, we'll expose these deceptions and show you how to break free. This isn't about blame. It's about seeing the truth and reclaiming your financial power. Are you ready to challenge everything you thought you knew? You've heard it before. The system is broken. But that's the biggest lie of all. The system works exactly as designed, to funnel wealth upward, not to create fairness. Every law, policy, and curriculum is engineered to keep you working and consuming, while a tiny elite accumulates power. It's like a rigged poker game. You're taught the basics, but the house always wins. The struggle you feel isn't a glitch, it's the system working perfectly. Today, we'll reveal how this machine operates and how you can escape its grip. Stop waiting for a fix. The system isn't broken, it's a trap. Let's learn how to break out. Your education wasn't designed to make you rich, it was designed to make you obedient. From childhood, you were trained to follow rules, not to question or innovate. You learned algebra and history, but never how money works, how to invest, or how to build wealth. The real lessons, the ones that create financial freedom, were reserved for the children of the elite. While you were taught to fill a role, they were taught to own the system. This is the first truth they never wanted you to see. The system needs workers, not owners. But you can choose to learn what they never taught you. It's time to rewrite your story. Your job is sold as the path to security, but it's really a treadmill. You trade your precious time for a paycheck, only to see taxes and expenses eat it away. Inflation quietly erodes your savings, keeping you stuck in survival mode. The wealthy don't trade time for money. They own assets that pay them, even while they sleep. They own businesses, stocks, and real estate. You're left selling your hours. The system rewards asset holders and punishes time traders. You were promised stability, but got a lifetime of running just to stay afloat. The moment you stop, the money stops. The chains aren't steel, they're financial necessity. To break free, you must stop trading time and start building assets. Taxes, debt, and inflation are the tools that keep you financially suppressed. You pay a huge chunk of your income in taxes while the ultra-wealthy use loopholes to pay little or nothing. They earn through capital gains and borrow against asset strategies you were never taught. The tax code is written by and for those who benefit most. You pay first, they pay last, if at all. Debt is sold as dangerous, yet you're pushed into it from day one: student loans, car loans, mortgages. You start adulthood in financial chains working decades just to service debt. Meanwhile, the rich use debt to grow wealth, not to survive. The rules are rigged, but you can learn to play a different game. Don't let debt and taxes dictate your life. It's time to see the matrix and step outside it. Let's dissect the system at its foundation, the school. You were promised future success for your diligence. The classroom was to prepare you for the real world. Education is the great equalizer, the key to prosperity. But this narrative conceals a less noble purpose. The education system wasn't designed to foster creativity or critical thought. It was born from the Industrial Revolution to produce an obedient workforce. You were trained to function in a vast economic machine. The ringing bells and rigid timetables conditioned you for structured employment. This dismantled the inquisitive nature of childhood and replaced it with passivity. The system needed compliant workers. It prepared you for a lifetime of taking orders. It was an assembly line for the workforce. You spent years mastering complex subjects, yet a crucial element was intentionally omitted: financial literacy. You were never taught how to manage finances, understand assets versus liabilities, or harness the power of compound interest. This wasn't accidental, it was strategic, designed to keep you dependent on the system. Your financial illiteracy benefits those who profit from your confusion. You were taught to work for money, not to make it work for you. It's time to understand how the system truly works. Grades. The primary tool to measure your worth in the educational system. From your earliest days, you were conditioned to chase letters and numbers. This system was presented as an objective measure of your intelligence and potential. But what does a grade truly measure? It doesn't measure creativity, resilience, or leadership. A grade is primarily a measure of your compliance. This cult of the grade has profound psychological consequences. In the real world, failure is often the greatest teacher, but in school, failure is punished. This focus on individual grades fosters a competitive mindset rather than a collaborative one. The system isolates you, teaching you to see classmates as rivals, not partners. Education can lead to the adoption of an employee mindset. This is a worldview centered on selling your time to an employer for a salary. The system grooms you for this role, presenting it as the pinnacle of responsibility. The ultimate prize is a good job, subservience within someone else's company. You were taught to specialize, making you a valuable cog. Your career is a linear progression up a corporate ladder. The employee mindset is trading time for money. It never encourages you to shift your focus to owning and investing. This grooming for the rat race is a form of mental enslavement. You chase promotions and dedicate your life to enriching your employer under the illusion of security. But this security can vanish with a single layoff. While you were being shaped into an obedient worker, the wealthy received a different education. The most valuable lessons were taught outside the classroom, a curriculum of ownership, power, and financial sovereignty. They learned the language of assets, cash flow, and capital gains. Debt is a tool, and the tax system, a game to be navigated. This instilled an owner's mindset from a young age. While you learned skills to be a good employee, they learned how money, law, and influence intersect. The system creates two educational tracks. One teaches compliance, the other, ownership. Recognizing the truth about your education is the first and often most painful step toward liberation. It requires you to accept that the foundation upon which you built your understanding of the world was flawed. The years you spent chasing grades, the degrees you worked so hard to obtain, and the professional path you were told to follow were not designed for your enrichment, but for your domestication. This realization can be honestly pretty disorienting, even angering. But dwelling on this anger is a trap. The true power lies not in resenting the past, but in consciously deciding to deprogram yourself from its influence and embark on a new course of learning. This process of unlearning is an active and deliberate one. It means you must challenge every assumption you hold about work, money, and success. You must begin to question the wisdom of trading your finite time for a fixed salary. You must unlearn the fear of failure that was drilled into you by the grading system and reframe it as an essential part of the learning process. You must discard the employee mindset that seeks security in a paycheck and start cultivating an owner's mindset that seeks freedom in assets. This requires a fundamental shift in your identity, moving from being a passive participant in the economy to an active creator of your own economic reality. Your new curriculum is self-directed. The knowledge that was withheld from you is now more accessible than ever before, but you must actively seek it out. Read the books they never assigned in school. Books on financial intelligence, investing, entrepreneurship, and economic history. Follow and learn from people who are not just living a lavish lifestyle, but who are transparently teaching the principles of how they built their wealth. Consume podcasts, watch seminars, and take online courses that focus on the practical skills of asset acquisition and business creation. You must become a voracious, lifelong student of wealth, the subject your formal education so carefully avoided. Ultimately, this journey of deprogramming is about reclaiming your mind. The system's greatest power over you is your belief in its narrative. By consciously choosing to reject that narrative and educate yourself on the real rules of the game, you take back control. It is not an overnight process. It requires diligence, persistence, and the courage to think differently from everyone around you who remains plugged into the matrix. But every book you read, every new concept you grasp, and every small action you take toward building an asset is a step away from the treadmill and a step toward true financial freedom. The lie of education ends the moment your true education begins. Let's pivot to the harsh reality of your job, the central pillar of your existence. Your days begin serving someone else's agenda, expending your life force for an enterprise you don't own. You trade your irreplaceable time for money, presented as the only responsible path. It's a grand time heist where you sell the only commodity you can never recover. This is the worker's trap. You're conditioned to sell time, focusing on your pay rate. The system's architects buy time, leveraging your effort to build their empires, profiting from the value you create. You're selling your most precious asset at a discount in a heist most don't recognize. The system is clever. To keep you motivated, it presents you with an illusion of progress, the corporate ladder. You are told that if you work hard, demonstrate loyalty, and exceed expectations, you will be rewarded with promotions. Each step up this ladder comes with a new title, a little more responsibility, and a modest increase in your salary. But what is this ladder really? It is a structure of control within someone else's kingdom. You are not climbing toward freedom. You are climbing toward a more sophisticated form of servitude. It just leads to a higher floor, that you never stop to ask why you are all climbing in the first place. The tragic irony is that for most, the ladder leads nowhere. Who start climbing will never reach the top, for the false promise of a corner office that was never meant for them. The stability you were promised is a lie. What you have actually been given is a modern form of indentured servitude, wage slavery. These are chains of financial necessity. You are bound by your mortgage, car loan, student debt, and the need to put food on the table. This dependency is engineered by design. The system encourages debt, ensuring your expenses create a sense of urgency. You're trapped in a cycle where you work to pay the bills that allow you to keep working. Because of these chains, you lose your power to say no. This is the essence of wage slavery. Your labor is extracted under economic duress. You are free only to choose your master, not a life without one. A workforce in debt is stable, predictable, and cheap. It controls people by capturing their financial lives. Let's contrast the worker with the owner. You sell your time, the owner buys it, creating products or services. They sell these to the marketplace. This separates the worker from the wealthy. You sell limited hours. They sell a scalable product, untethered from their time. They leverage the time and skills of many. It's a system of multiplication, not simple addition. Systems work even when they aren't present. Their income is decoupled from their effort. This is how wealth is built, building systems that work for you. Even if you play the worker's game to perfection, you will find yourself facing the treadmill effect. Despite increased effort, you feel like you are not making any real progress. Your salary might go up, but your expenses increase even more. The system is designed to constantly move the goalposts, ensuring you never accumulate enough capital to escape the race. The feeling of running in place is your economic reality. The treadmill effect is amplified by lifestyle creep. No matter how much more you earn, you never create a significant gap between your income and your expenses. This leaves you with no time, energy, or capital to focus on building income-generating assets. Let us now illuminate the escape route from the worker's trap. It is the path taken by the wealthy, a path that operates on completely different principles. While you are trading your active time for money, they are focused on acquiring and holding assets. An asset is anything that puts money in your pocket, independent of your direct labor. It is a business that generates profits, a piece of real estate that collects rent, a portfolio of stocks that pays dividends, or intellectual property that earns royalties. The fundamental goal of the wealthy is not to earn a high salary, but to build a large and diverse base of income-producing assets. This is the secret to making money while you sleep. An apartment building doesn't care if its owner is on a beach in Bali. It continues to collect rent from its tenants every month. A well-run e-commerce business doesn't stop making sales because its founder is at their child's school play. The automated systems continue to process orders around the clock. The dividends from a stock portfolio are deposited into your account whether you are working, sleeping, or traveling the world. This is, honestly, the holy grail of financial freedom income that is decoupled from your time and presence. It is an economic engine that you build once and then it runs for you, generating cash flow indefinitely. This asset holder's advantage creates a virtuous cycle of wealth creation. The cash flow generated by their assets is not immediately consumed by lifestyle expenses. Instead, a large portion of it is reinvested to acquire even more assets. The rent from one property is saved to make a down payment on a second. The profits from a business are used to invest in the stock market. This is how wealth begins to compound, growing at an exponential rate. While the worker's income grows linearly through raises, the asset holder's wealth grows exponentially through compounding. This is why the gap between the rich and everyone else doesn't just persist, it widens dramatically over time. This is the second great truth you must internalize. The system is designed to punish time traders and handsomely reward asset holders. Your labor is taxed at the highest rates. Your savings are eaten by inflation. Your path is a constant uphill battle. The asset holder, meanwhile, benefits from lower tax rates on their investment gains, uses leverage to accelerate their returns, and sees the value of their holdings rise with inflation. They are not just playing a different game, they are playing on a different field, where the laws of financial gravity are tilted in their favor. Escaping the worker's trap, therefore, is not about working harder. It is about fundamentally changing your strategy from earning to owning. Let's examine the forces shaping your financial destiny: taxes, debt, and inflation. The tax code isn't fair, it's a complex rulebook. It favors owners and investors, a rulebook written by the rich for the rich. As a worker, taxes are brutally efficient. Your income faces the highest rates with little chance to reduce the burden. The wealthy generate income through capital gains taxed at lower rates. The system rewards capital over labor. Through lobbying, the wealthy influence politicians who write tax laws. The tax code is a tool for wealth preservation wielded by those who forged it. The tax system's injustice. You earn, pay taxes, then spend what's left. Taxes are deducted first, leaving you to budget around your net income. The rich invert this. They earn, spend, then pay taxes, often minimally. Their income flows through corporations, allowing pre-tax spending on business expenses. This pre-tax spending is a superpower unavailable to employees. They reinvest to grow their business, lowering taxable profit, sometimes to zero. The system rewards them for activities that increase their wealth. This is how billionaires legally minimize income tax. They leverage the tax code, building assets with pre-tax dollars. It's understanding rules designed for different realities.